The media has been on a pressure campaign against the stars of Harry Potter, first with the actor who played Dumbledore, and now with Tom Felton, to try to get them to distance themselves from J.K. Rowling, to try to get them to attack her, to try to sabotage the show as it's coming out. It's pretty weird because you have this situation with HBO where obviously we have a black Snape already. They're trying to subvert things with their weird identity politics, and it has all these Hollywood actors in it, and it's like, this is a left-wing adaptation redo of a bunch of movies which are perfect as they are. There's really no reason to remake it at this juncture. And so it is going to be all for their social agenda as it is. And on the flip side, they want it canceled because of their social agenda. And this just shows the weird hypocrisy of the left and just where they're at on everything that they always talk about. It's always nonsensical, and it's always just outrage bait with them every single time. Now, Tom Felton isn't falling for it, and I really think they've been given a media script by probably a PR agency in order to handle these questions, because they are sounding eerily the same in the way that they're responding to these every single time the media goes at them. We'll get into this news in just a moment as we talk about everything Harry Potter with, of course, the fantasy news here. We are a big fantasy channel, and I really appreciate you guys for being here. I am a fantasy author myself. I would love to have an adaptation. I would not allow my characters to be turned into random black people. I'd put that as a stipulation in the contract if anybody does want to option this. It is called The Adventures of Baron von Monocle. It is a 6-book series. It's about an airship crew who is adventuring, questing against monsters. It is a lot of fun. Action adventure, really good stuff. And if you kind of like the vibe of Harry Potter, I think you're going to really enjoy this. On top of that, it builds up. It gets a little darker into a war and the like as it goes along, but it's good for all ages, and I hope you'll enjoy it. It is in the description below. Like I said, if you like Harry Potter, I think you're going to love this. On top of it, it's on an audiobook if you prefer that way. We have the entire series for you like that. Makes it easy for you. Thank you for supporting our channel and supporting independent art. It's always difficult to get seen out there, and I appreciate everybody who's made this a huge success and our bestseller over the years. All right, so let's get into this news right here. As Tom Felton, the actor who played Draco Malfoy in the Harry Potter film adaptations, shared that the controversy surrounding J.K. Rowling due to her comments about gender ideology doesn't impact him. And that's a big thing right there. So like I said, the new Dumbledore's got this. Tom Felton's now in on this. It seems like I said these actors have all been given a script. And I don't know if Tom Felton's going to appear in the new series. I'm certain some of those actors will be brought in at some point for cameos or the like, just because, that would be good for business for HBO to do so. But yes, they are standing firm and just not getting involved with this sort of thing right here. So he was at the Tony Awards on Sundays, and he was asked, does the sort of Twitterverse controversy around J.K. Rowling's views impact you at all, or impact your work in the world at all? Oh my gosh. The way these people just are so insidious. They're such snakes at places like Variety. They want to drum up a controversy and create a controversy where there is none. Because J.K. Rowling mostly spends her time saying, hey, if you're a dude, you're not a chick. If you put on a dress, that does not make you a woman any more than if you did anything otherwise. It doesn't make any sense, and it's stupid, of course, and it's very dangerous to women to allow men into these spaces where, it's locker rooms or bathrooms or whatever. It's asking for trouble, and it is asking for trouble, and that's exactly what they want. They want a world where this is the social justice sort of deal. They want a world where everybody's in trouble and fearing for things all the time, because in their minds, they just want equality, right? And equality doesn't bring people up ever, because equality, you can never achieve that. If somebody's better at something or does something spectacular or simply just exists in a way that's happier than somebody else, whatever it is, they can't have that. And so they want to bring everybody down to their level. That's the entire object of what social justice is all about. And so that's exactly what they're doing here. I mean, these men can't compete in normal men's sports, and so they go into women's sports and they just dominate everything because, men are bigger, stronger, and faster than them. It's ridiculous. And so that's what it's all about. It's about making everybody miserable. And as you can see, Variety even wants these actors to be miserable just for starring in a film decades ago that has nothing to do with any of this stuff. The fantasy setting has nothing to do with any of this stuff. The movies being loved has nothing to do with any of this stuff. So does it impact you, this controversy? Yeah, well, I mean, it shouldn't, but we are in a world where these people want to manufacture this. And what they want to do is create a guilt by association situation to apply social pressure for their agenda. That's what this is all about. If you're guilt by associated, you won't associate with that monster who just thinks differently than you. Hasn't committed a crime, hasn't done anything like that, but thinks differently. Oh my gosh. And so they want to try to make that so businesses shut everybody down and ruin everybody's lives. We've dealt with that here on the channel quite a bit. Of course, I've been canceled probably more than anybody else out there. Why is that? Just because I give opinions on stuff like this on youtube.com. It's so stupid. But this is exactly what they do. And the more we stand up and the more we resist it and the more we say, no, it doesn't bother us. I don't even care. Shut up. Go away. I'd be a lot harsher with Variety if they asked me a question like this. Then the less power that they have to drive these kind of narratives overall. And that's exactly why we do what we do. The more we call things out, the more we push the window the opposite direction, the more that it makes it more difficult for them to do this kind of thing to people. And that's exactly why we fight. So he says, no, can't say it does. I'm not really attuned to it. The only thing I remind myself is I've been lucky enough to travel the world. Here I am in New York, not seen anything bring the world together more than Harry Potter. And she's responsible for that. So I'm incredibly grateful. Look at that. What a class act of a response. Yes, she is responsible for that. He is living off of that writer's dream. And he does make a great appearance off that. This is, I wish Emma Watson would act a little more similarly to this here, because they should be grateful. They're in great spots. They are traveling the world. They've got tons of money. Of course, living lives of luxury that that 99% of people can only dream of, and going to these little galas where everything's paid for and everything's comped and all that all the time. And yes, their lives are pretty good. There's nothing for them to complain about at all, ever. And geez, wouldn't it be nice? And so they want to bring him down. They want to destroy him as an example. And they want to create an example out of him. They want to create an example out of others so that they can make it more difficult for people to associate. This is what it's all about. Gosh, these media journalists are so sick. So he'll return to his role as Draco Malfoy for Harry Potter and the Cursed Child, which is a Broadway play that's coming out very, very soon. And then he's going to make his debut later this year of a 19-week run. He said of his return, being a part of Harry Potter films has been one of the greatest honors of my life. Joining in this production will be a full circle moment for me. Sony Friedman and Colin Callender, the play's producers, will commented on his reprisal, saying it's a cultural moment charged with nostalgia, evolution, and emotion. They also added, we can't wait to see him inhabit his role once again. So he's back in New York doing this. And, like I said, I think that they're going to start bringing in some of these actors for the cameos for the HBO show at some point, just to bring in that nostalgia, because what's the point of this show, again, if you don't have any of that nostalgia bait? And we've seen this before. Like I said, the Dumbledore actor was getting this exact same thing, this exact same questioning for the new show, and he said very much the same response. So we're getting this kind of thing, and HBO has actually been questioned about the same thing as well. They gave the same response. So there's definitely a trained media aspect of this where they have a stock answer at this juncture so that they don't blow up any of this stuff, which is probably better that way, because you know what happens when the actors go off the rails and start going crazy. It starts getting really, really ugly for these productions really, really fast. We'll be covering this the whole way as this Harry Potter TV show and, of course, Broadway show is getting under production, and we'll see what happens further, and that's our social justice lesson of the day. Leave a comment down below with what you think about this. Please hit the like and subscribe button. Really appreciate you guys being here. If you want some great fantasy that's a lot of fun, shouldn't be controversial at all. I mean, everybody should love this, except for that guy says things on youtube.com. What do you think about that? Like I said, this is good for everybody, and I hope you'll enjoy it. It's in the description below. Pick it up on ebook, print, and audio today. Support our channel. We'll be back soon.